Welcome to this Zentangle Quickie. My name is Heather Hartwick Gladden. I'm a certified Zentangle teacher. And today we're going to take a look at the tangle Lattice from CZT, me. I think this is the first tangle that I have done all by myself. But it was inspired by Trellis, which is from CZT Catherine Jacoby. And I do have a video on this one. So we wanted to use this in our fun with shading class that was today. And you say Trellis is neat. It's a little on the slightly difficult-ish side. So I thought, well, I'll just simplify it. And then as I was looking at it, I'm like, I've made enough changes, I suppose, to the way it's constructed that I'm going to do like others. I'm going to call this is my version of this. And like I said, there's a lot of other tangles that, little slight tweaks. But I do want to give, in the description section, I should put the link to Trellis just so that way you can see that, because it has some different aspects that are also neat. So I thought it's different enough. And by, the standards that I see out there, I'm just going to name it, and there we go. Okay, so let's see. I am going to put a little border on this one. And there we go. Okay, that way I'm not going completely off of the edges. So this starts off, it's a grid pattern, and it's we'll say it's on the diagonal, but if you ended up wanting to do it on the square, that is fine as well. So I am going to do it on the diagonal. So some diagonal lines. This is, a good, say, pen width, a little bit more than a pen width, or a nice fat finger apart, because there is stuff inside that we're going to do. And then we're across it the other direction. I do like to start in the middle or someplace and then create my lines from that. Okay, now actually I can just leave it where it is. We're going to create we're going to do a grid over this, and there are several actually. Let me think. Here it is right in front of me. Hashika that we did not too long ago. There's the picture of it. Same idea with a double grid. There are some other ones. There's some like plaid type ones. Up to you. Now, this is one of those where you decide which side you want to put these on. I will also mention, let me just flip it so I'm doing it on the same side. And I did this during our session today, if you end up with, a little bit too much of a wonky grid, one thing that you can do using this as a course correction. So like, for instance, let me go this direction. If this is way too wide, I can put the double lines on. Like I can put one here and put one here in order to adjust. So I just want to throw that out there because it is a nice course corrector. But honestly, it doesn't matter which side you start with. I would just, generally keep it to the one side, again, unless you need to course correct. Okay. There we have a nice double grid. Then, and this, pick whatever side you wish. And what we're going to do is essentially aura whatever the two sides. Let me take that back. So it's two sides. So I'm going to start here on the line and aura this corner. Maybe that's a better way to say it. We're going to aura a corner. This does start to look a little bit like a really modified cubine. Actually, I'll get the partial ones afterwards. Whoa. Then just making sure to do it on the same sides each time. I almost did it just willy-nilly on the wrong side. And then the partial ones you just kind of have to envision. Okay, well, this line is here, so really this is just going to be that, because I would be going down, turning it about there. Something that you could do as well is try to, have these be, in a similar position. It doesn't really matter, but you could. All right, and then here we would barely just have that going there, oh, this partial, so we'd have a little bit coming down here, and this one about here. All right, I think I got them all. And this one would be on the other side of that border. Okay. Then, on these corners, so I'm just aiming it up just because that makes it easy. We're going to connect from the orid section that we just did, kind of coffering, if you will. So connecting those two corners, like so. Oh, actually, that'll take... and watch out for these little partials that, that's part of that. Because if you need to just, like this, just put that line, it makes it convincing when you're looking at your overall design. Every little bit, even like, there was someplace where I just put, it was almost like right here, like a little dot. Because there would be a line there, and, there's one. And, if things are uneven, don't worry about it. It's all good. Okay, I do believe, and I'll find it when I do the shading. Now, one thing that I enjoyed doing was I put a little dot in the intersection as if it was like a nail or something. We were joking on the session today and said, if you make your grid bigger, we could totally add this to the steampunk genre. So you could put, like a screw head or something in there. Up to you. Could put perfing is what we would call it. That's the actual tangle enhancer. Could put dots, all the way through if you wish. It's your tangle. You can have as much fun with it as you want. Okay. And that is basically it, except for some shading. And that, of course, is up to you. Some of the fun that we had was to, you could put some little lines in there if you wish, or some hatching, coming out of the corners. Up to you. I'm just going to do shading and leave it at that. And then, and here's a couple things that you could do with that. First, I'm just going to fill in. And this, you don't have to. You can just do like this. You don't have to fill it all the way in. Because when you use the Tortillion, you end up spreading it out. And there we go. And this kind of using what I call the scooching motion. And I'm just going to do this up. I have found, did I do it here yesterday? No, I think I did it. Let me look. Oh, I did it on our earlier shading session so this is scooching and this is side to side. Because I have always felt that you get it's not as thick of a space, and it's like, oh, okay, well, there we go. So doing that, you can kind of fit into these small areas. It helps. I do have a smaller Tortillion, but it seemed like it, and since we were doing shading anyway, I thought, well, let's just test that theory out and see how it fills in ever so nicely with just, putting in a little teeny bit. And then you can gauge, depending on how dark you want it to be, right? Okay, and then we'll go the other direction. Now, normally, something that we say a lot, because Rick said it, is, to keep the tip of the Tortillion where you want it the darkest. Well, here, we're just really spreading it out. So that doesn't necessarily apply. If you're wanting to create a gradient, yes, of course. And then another thing you can have fun with is, so let's see if I can just get a little bit in there. And then this little, wow. My saying is put the tip where you don't want it to go over, because that kind of, like if I was reaching the other side, then the likelihood of me getting some graphite where I don't want it is increased. Okay, I think I got them all. Yeah. And just super neat. It depends. I think I like it this way the best. That's the way I did it. But, you have fun with whatever direction you want it to go. They all look neat. But just a neat tangle. and I'm pretty tickled by it. And you had a lot of nice feedback. But like I said, a little bit different construction and result than trellis. So there we have it. Okay, and there probably, like I said, there's probably some other ones out there too. All right, I think that's it. So if you've enjoyed this, and I hope you did, would love it if you click on the like button. If you liked it enough to see more, would love to have you be a subscriber to the channel. In the description section, you'll find my step out. Okay. I should be silly and put mine in both things. And yeah, that's funny. Like I said, I think this is the first one that I can take credit for myself. There was one that Mom and I did together called Tulips. And I think that's it. Yeah. So, all right. So you'll find all of those links in the description section. Below the step out, you will find my Linktree link. And so if you want to connect, social media wise, all of my links are on there. Also, if you happen to be on Facebook and want to join our amazing Tangle Addicts community, we have a group on Facebook, a private group. The link is there. There are 4 questions that you have to answer in order to gain entry. And let's see, page is also there, so you can follow that. You can follow my blog on my website. If you are interested in classes, you know what? Let me just show you, because since I can. So this was our Fun with Shading class, and this is how we used it here. It's just, like I said, it makes a really neat accent, something when you're doing organics, and it's just. I like that I simplified it. That's how I started off with. So anyway, if you would like to join in classes like this, now this one did have a fee. A lot of mine are free, where we would take a tangle and just explore it and have fun. Either way, information is on my website, as well as there's a couple links on the Linktree on where to follow for class information when I post things. And I think that's all that's in my head. So with that, thanks so much for watching. And I wish you happy tangling.